The tattoo parlor smelled like antiseptic and ink. Riley Hayes wiped down her station for the third time, watching the clock tick toward closing. 22 years old, living in a studio apartment in Oceanside, California, working 2 jobs to afford rent. This was her life. This was all it had ever been. "Riley, you got a walk-in," Marco called from the front desk. She looked up. A woman in an expensive suit stood in the waiting area, completely out of place in their Beachtown shop. "Riley Hayes?" the woman asked. "That's me. I'm Jennifer Cross. I'm an attorney." She handed over a business card. "I've been looking for you for 6 months." Riley's stomach tightened. Nothing good ever came from lawyers. "I don't want whatever you're selling." "I'm not selling anything. I'm here about your father." Riley's hand stilled on the cleaning cloth. "My father's dead." "Not dead. Missing. Officially declared so 3 weeks ago." Jennifer's voice softened. "And there are people who want to meet you. Family." "I don't have family. Your mother was Catherine Morgan before she married Jack Hayes. She had a brother. My mother died when I was 4. I don't know anything about her family. They want to change that. Your cousins, 4 of them, have been searching for you since your father disappeared. They'd like to meet." Riley laughed harshly. "Let me guess. They want something. They want to help. Please, just 1 meeting." Jennifer pulled out a folder. "This is your mother's file. Photos, documents, proof of who you are. They're prepared to offer you $50,000 just to hear them out." $50,000. Riley could pay off debt, get a better place, maybe go to art school like she'd always dreamed. "Where?" she asked finally. "San Francisco. I can arrange everything. Flight, hotel, all expenses covered. Tomorrow, if you're available." Riley looked around the tattoo parlor, at the life she'd built from nothing, with no help from anyone. Her father had walked out when she was 8, a Navy SEAL with too many demons and not enough humanity left to care about his daughter. She'd survived without him, without anyone, but $50,000 was 50,000 reasons to take a chance. "Tomorrow," Riley agreed. 1 meeting, that's it." That night, Riley opened the folder Jennifer had left. Photographs spilled out. Her mother young and beautiful, laughing with a dark-haired man who must have been her brother. Documents showing the Morgan family, wealthy, established, connected. And then pictures of her, baby Riley, toddler Riley, always with her mother. The photos stopped at age 4. The year her mother died, the year everything changed. Riley touched her mother's face in the pictures. She barely remembered her, just fragments, a smile, a song, the smell of jasmine perfume. Her father had never talked about her mother's family, never explained why they weren't around, why it was just the 2 of them in a small apartment near Camp Pendleton. And then he'd left too. "You're on your own now," he'd said. 8 years old, coming home from school to find him packing. "I can't do this anymore. No explanation, no apology, just gone." Riley had bounced through foster care until she aged out at 18. 4 years of scraping by, working, surviving. Now, suddenly there was family, cousins with money who wanted to help. Riley didn't believe in fairy tales, but she believed in leverage, and maybe this was hers. The private jet caught Riley off guard. "Mr. Morgan insisted," Jennifer explained as they boarded. "He wants you to be comfortable." Riley had never been on a plane before, let alone one with leather seats and a flight attendant who offered champagne. She settled into a seat by the window and watched California disappear below. 2 hours later, San Francisco rose from the bay, glittering, elegant, impossibly wealthy. A car service took them to a building in the financial district. 40 stories of glass and steel with Morgan Holdings etched above the entrance. "This is their company?" Riley asked. "One of them. The Morgan family has diversified interests: technology, real estate, private equity, worth approximately $6 billion. $6 billion. The number was meaningless to Riley. She could barely imagine 6,000. The elevator required a key card. It opened directly into a penthouse office with panoramic views of the city. 4 men stood waiting. "Riley." The oldest stepped forward, mid-30s, dark hair, sharp eyes that assessed her in seconds. "I'm Ethan Morgan, your cousin. Thank you for coming." The others introduced themselves. Nathan, 32, the strategist with a cool demeanor. Cole, 29, built like he still hit the gym daily. And Drew, 25, whose easy smile didn't quite reach his eyes. "Please, sit." Ethan gestured to a seating area that probably cost more than Riley's annual salary. "We have a lot to discuss." Riley perched on the edge of a chair. "Your lawyer mentioned $50,000. Let's start there." Nathan's mouth twitched, almost a smile. "Direct. I like that." "We didn't bring you here just to throw money at you," Cole said, "though the $50,000 is yours regardless of what you decide." "Decide about what?" Ethan leaned forward. "What do you know about your father's disappearance?" "Nothing. He left when I was 8. I haven't seen him since." "He didn't leave," Drew said quietly. "He ran. There's a difference." Riley's jaw tightened. "Explain." Ethan pulled out a file, much thicker than the one Jennifer had given her. "Jack Hayes was an exceptional Navy SEAL, multiple tours, decorated, skilled, but his last mission went wrong. Classified details, but the outcome was clear. People died who shouldn't have. Your father was blamed." "He was set up," Nathan added. "We've been investigating for years. Jack was a scapegoat for an operation that went sideways due to intelligence failures at higher levels." "Why?" "Do you care?" Riley asked. "You didn't even know me." "Because of your mother," Cole said. "Catherine was our father's sister, our only aunt. When she died, our father tried to help you and Jack, but Jack refused, said he didn't want anything from the Morgans. He took you and disappeared into poverty rather than accept help. And 8 years later, when things got too hot, when people started asking questions about that failed mission, he ran for real," Ethan continued, "went completely off-grid. We've been trying to track him ever since." Riley processed this. "So you found me to get to him?" "We found you because you're family," Drew said, "and because you deserve to know the truth." "Here's what we know." Nathan pulled up a screen showing documents, photos, timelines. "Your father discovered something about that mission, evidence that would exonerate him and implicate some very powerful people. He's been hiding for 14 years, protecting that evidence and protecting you by staying away." Riley stood, walked to the windows. San Francisco sparkled below, a world away from her studio apartment and tattoo parlor life. "Why tell me this now?" "Because 3 weeks ago Jack was officially declared missing," Ethan said, "which means legally his assets, including a safety deposit box we traced, can be accessed. We think whatever evidence he had is in that box. And you need me to access it." "We need you to understand what's at stake," Cole corrected. "Your father isn't a villain, Riley. He's a soldier who got caught in a conspiracy and sacrificed everything, including you, to keep you safe." "That's a nice story." Riley's voice was hard. "But he still left an 8-year-old alone." "He did," Ethan agreed, "and that's unforgivable. But he did it believing it was the only way to protect you. The people behind that operation, they've killed to keep their secrets. Jack couldn't risk leading them to you." Riley turned to face them. 4 men in expensive suits, offering her explanations for 14 years of abandonment. "What do you want from me?" "We want to clear your father's name," Nathan said. "We want to expose the truth, and we want to bring you into this family, where you should have been all along." "You don't know me." "Then let us," Drew said simply. "Give us a chance. Stay in San Francisco for a few weeks. Help us find the evidence. Get to know us. At the end, you can walk away if you want, with the 50,000 plus whatever else you need to start over." Riley studied each of them, looking for the angle, the trap, the lie, found only careful sincerity and something that might have been genuine hope. "1 month," she said finally. "I'll give you 1 month, but I'm not promising anything beyond that." Ethan's smile was genuine. "That's all we're asking." As Jennifer led Riley to a hotel later, a suite that was nicer than any place she'd ever lived, she couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just stepped into something much bigger than family reunion, something that involved secrets, conspiracies, and a father who'd chosen duty over daughter. Riley had survived 14 years without him. The question was, could she survive the truth about why he left? The Morgan penthouse overlooked the bay. Riley stood on the terrace, coffee in hand, watching sailboats drift across blue water. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Cole joined her. "Never gets old?" "Must be nice," Riley said, "growing up with this view." "We didn't, actually. Our father built this from nothing. Started with one restaurant, turned it into an empire." Cole leaned against the railing. "He died 5 years ago. Heart attack. We've been running things since." "I'm sorry." "Don't be. He was a good man, but he carried guilt about your mother his whole life, about not protecting her better, about losing you." Riley was quiet. "What happened to her? My mother?" "Car accident. She was driving home from visiting your father at base. Drunk driver crossed the median." Cole's voice was gentle. "She died instantly. You were in the car, walked away with scratches. Jack never forgave himself." The coffee tasted bitter suddenly. Riley had always known her mother died in an accident. She'd never known the details. He blamed himself? He blamed everyone. The Navy for keeping him away, himself for not being there, even blamed our father for not warning Catherine about the driver, which was irrational, but grief isn't logical. "So he pushed you all away?" "Yeah, and then when the mission went wrong, he pushed even harder, convinced himself everyone he loved was in danger because of him." Riley processed this. It didn't excuse abandonment, but it added context. "Why now?" she asked. "Why find me after all these years?" "Because the people behind that mission are still out there, still powerful. And recently they started making moves, eliminating loose ends. We think they're finally coming after Jack, which means they might come after you." Riley's grip tightened on the mug. "You brought me here as bait." "We brought you here to protect you," Cole said firmly. "Scattered and unaware, you're vulnerable. Here, with us, we can keep you safe while we expose these bastards." "I've kept myself safe for 14 years. Against poverty and foster care, yeah. Against trained operatives and corrupt officials?" Cole met her eyes. "That's different. Let us help." Before Riley could respond, her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. "Hello?" Static. Then a voice, rough, familiar, despite 14 years. "Riley." Her breath stopped. "Dad? Listen carefully. You're in danger. The Morgans, they're not what they seem. Get out. Now. Don't trust." The line went dead. Riley stared at her phone, hands shaking. Cole watched her carefully. "What happened?" "My father. He just called. Said I'm in danger. Said not to trust you." Cole's expression hardened. "When?" "Just now." The line cut out. He was already moving, pulling out his own phone. "Ethan, we have a problem." Jack made contact. Within minutes, all four brothers assembled. Nathan pulled up tracking software. The call came from a burner phone. Location bounced through 3 towers. He's trying to mask his position. "Did he say anything specific?" Ethan asked Riley. "Just that you're not what you seem, that I should leave." "Classic Jack," Drew muttered. "Still playing hero, still pushing people away." "Or he knows something we don't," Nathan countered. "We should consider the possibility he's warning Riley for a reason." "The reason is paranoia," Cole said. 14 years on the run will do that." Riley stood. "I want to talk to him. Can you trace the call? Find him?" "We've been trying for years," Ethan said. "Jack's good at hiding. If he reached out, it's because he wants you to leave, not because he wants to be found." "Then maybe I should leave," Riley said. "This is getting complicated." "You can't," Nathan said bluntly. "The fact that Jack called means someone's getting close to him, and if they're close to him, they'll look for connections. You're his only child, Riley. You're the obvious target." "So I'm stuck here." "You're safe here," Ethan corrected. "There's a difference." Riley looked at the four of them, brothers who'd inherited billions, who moved through the world with confidence and power, who claimed they wanted to help her. And then she thought about her father's voice, rough with years of running, desperate to warn her. Someone was lying. She just didn't know who yet. Riley couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m., she left her room and found the building's gym, state-of-the-art, empty, perfect for working out frustration. She was halfway through her routine when Nathan appeared. "Couldn't sleep either?" "Your brother said I'm a target. Sleep seems optional." Nathan grabbed gloves, hit the heavy bag. "Want to talk about it?" "Not particularly." They worked in silence for a while, Riley on weights, Nathan on the bag. Finally, he spoke. "I know this is a lot, but we're not the enemy." "My father seems to think differently." "Your father's been paranoid for 14 years. He sees threats everywhere." "Maybe because threats are everywhere." Nathan paused. "Fair point." He sat on a bench. "What do you want to know? About us, about this situation? Ask me anything." Riley considered. "Why is finding this evidence so important to you? Why not just let it go?" "Because our father spent his last years trying to help Jack. It ate him up, knowing his sister died, knowing her husband was framed, knowing you were out there somewhere alone. He made us promise to find you, to clear Jack's name." Deathbed promise. Very dramatic. It was. Nathan's voice was dry. "Our father was nothing if not dramatic, but he was also right. Jack deserves justice. You deserve family. And the people who set him up deserve to face consequences." Noble. Practical. We're businessmen, Riley. We understand leverage. Taking down corrupt officials. And military brass? That's leverage. Having you as part of the Morgan family? That's leverage, too. We don't do things purely out of goodness." Riley appreciated the honesty. "At least you admit it. Always. Lies are expensive. Truth is efficient." "Then tell me the truth." "What are you not saying?" Nathan studied her. "Smart question." He pulled out his phone, showed her a photo. "Recognize this man?" Riley looked. Cold eyes, military bearing, maybe 50 years old. "No. Colonel Richard Vance. He was Jack's commanding officer during that last mission. He's also been systematically eliminating everyone connected to it. 4 men dead in the last 2 years, all made to look like accidents." Riley's stomach dropped. "You think he'll come after my father?" "I think he already is. That call today? Jack's getting sloppy. That means he's desperate, and desperate people make mistakes." So you're using me to draw him out, to draw them both out. We're giving Jack a reason to stop running, Nathan corrected, and giving Vance a reason to make his move where we can control it. Yes, it's risky, but it's the only way to end this. And if my father gets killed in the process? Nathan's pause was answer enough. Riley stood. I need air. She left the gym, took the elevator to the rooftop. San Francisco glittered below, beautiful and indifferent. Her phone rang again. Same unknown number. Dad? Riley, don't trust them. The Morgans, they're working with Vance. It's a trap. You need to— If it's a trap, why did you call me here? Riley interrupted. Why lead me to them? Silence. Then, what? They found me. They brought me to San Francisco. If you didn't want me here, you should have found me first. I didn't. I've been trying to keep you hidden, safe. How did they— His voice cracked. Riley, I've been watching you for years, making sure you were okay. When you turned 18, I thought you'd be safe. But then Morgan started searching, and I couldn't risk contact. You watched me? Riley's voice was cold. You watched me struggle through foster care? Watched me work myself sick to afford rent? And you did nothing? To protect you? No. To protect yourself from guilt, from responsibility, from being my father. Riley, I'm done. You want to warn me? Fine. Warning received. But don't pretend this is about protecting me. You abandoned me because it was easier than staying. She hung up, stood there shaking, years of pain and anger finally surfacing. Behind her, Ethan spoke quietly. He's not wrong, you know, about the danger. Riley didn't turn. You heard? Rooftops monitored. We heard. He came to stand beside her. For what it's worth, he's also not entirely wrong about us. We are using you to draw out Vance, to find the evidence, to finish this. Nathan shouldn't have lied about that. But you're telling me. Because you deserve honesty, and because if we're going to do this, expose Vance, clear Jack, keep you safe, we need to trust each other. Real trust, not pretty lies. Riley finally looked at him. What if I walk away, right now, just leave? Then Vance hunts you alone. Jack can't protect you, he can barely protect himself. And we lose our chance to end this. Ethan met her eyes. But it's your choice. It always has been. Riley looked out at the city, thought about 14 years of survival, about her father's voice, broken with regret, about 4 cousins offering protection that came with conditions. 1 month, she said finally. I said 1 month. I'll see it through. But after that? After that, you're free. Win or lose, we'll make sure you're set up. Money, protection, whatever you need. Why? Because you're family, and because Nathan was right. Truth is efficient. The truth is we need you. You need us. And together we might actually survive this. Riley nodded slowly. Then let's finish it. Ethan's smile was grim. Welcome to the war, cousin. The plan was simple. Use Riley as bait, force Vance to make a move, catch him in the act. Riley hated it. This is insane, she said, as Cole explained the security measures. You're basically painting a target on my back. The target's already there, he countered. We're just making it visible so we can control when and where Vance strikes. They'd leaked information. Carefully, through channels they knew Vance monitored, that Riley had accessed Jack's safety deposit box, that she had the evidence. The truth was more complicated. The box existed, but they hadn't opened it yet. Needed a court order, which Nathan was expediting through friendly judges. In the meantime, Riley was bait. She hated being bait. How long before he moves? She asked. Days, maybe a week, Drew said. Vance is methodical, but he's also arrogant. He'll want to handle this personally. Lucky me. That evening, Riley went through her mother's old things, the folder Ethan had given her, plus additional materials they'd collected. Photos, letters, documents painting a picture of Catherine Morgan before she became Catherine Hayes. Beautiful, smart, idealistic. She'd met Jack at a charity event. Fallen hard. Her family disapproved. He was military, dangerous, wrong social class. She'd married him anyway. "She looks like you," Cole said from the doorway. "Same eyes, same stubborn chin." "Stubborn? You've been here a week. You haven't accepted anything without questioning it. That's stubborn, also smart." Riley set down a photo. "Tell me about your father. What was he like?" Cole sat across from her. "Driven, brilliant, guilty." He smiled sadly. "After Catherine died, he threw himself into business, built this empire like he was trying to outrun grief. We barely saw him growing up. Nannies, boarding schools, the works. Sounds lonely. It was, but it also made us close, the four of us. We raised each other, really. Ethan's the strategist, keeps us focused. Nathan's the numbers guy, keeps us honest. Drew's the optimist, keeps us human, and he shrugged. I'm the enforcer, I keep us safe. And me? What am I? The catalyst, the reason we're finally dealing with all this instead of just letting it fester." Before Riley could respond, alarms sounded, red lights flashed. "Security breach," Nathan's voice through the intercom. "East stairwell, floor 32. Riley, stay put. Cole, on it." Cole moved fast, pulling a gun from a hidden panel. Riley's heart raced. "What's happening?" "Vance. He's making his move early." Cole spoke into his comm. "Drew, get to Riley. Nathan, lock down the building. Ethan, already calling SFPD." Ethan's voice crackled. 3 minutes out." The lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in, dim, red, eerie. Drew burst through the door. "Come on, safe room, now." Riley didn't argue. They moved through hallways she'd barely learned, Drew's hand on her arm, guiding her in the darkness. Behind them, sounds of conflict, shouting, a gunshot. "Cole?" Drew spoke into his comm. Static. Then, "2 hostiles down. One got past me, heading your way." Drew swore, pulled Riley into a side room. "Stay quiet." They waited in darkness. Riley's heartbeat was thunder in her ears. Footsteps in the hallway, slow, measured. "Riley Hayes." The voice was cold, military. "I know you're here. Make this easy. Give me what your father stole. Walk away clean." "Vance." Drew's grip on his gun tightened. He gestured. "Stay back." "I don't have it," Riley called out. "The box hasn't been opened." Vance laughed. "You expect me to believe that?" "Believe what you want. But it's the truth. We're waiting on a court order." "Then you're no use to me." The door exploded inward. Drew moved, firing twice. Vance rolled, returned fire. Drew went down. Riley screamed. Vance turned toward her, and Cole hit him from behind. The 2 men grappled, professional and brutal. Riley grabbed Drew. "Are you okay?" "Vest," he gasped. "Bruised, not dead. Help Cole." But Cole didn't need help. Years of training showed as he disarmed Vance, slammed him against the wall. Sirens outside, police flooding the building. It was over. Later, after statements and paramedics and police reports, the 4 brothers and Riley sat in the penthouse. "That was too close," Ethan said quietly. "He was desperate," Nathan analyzed. "Riley was right. He moved too fast, too sloppy. That's not like him." "Because he's running out of time," Riley realized. "My father must be getting close to exposing him. This was Vance's last chance to silence everything." "And he failed." Drew winced as a medic checked his ribs. which means Jack can finally come out of hiding. Riley's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered without thinking. Riley? Her father's voice. But different, relieved, broken. I heard about Vance. Are you okay? I'm fine. He's in custody. Thank God. A shaky breath. I'm sorry. For everything. For leaving. For not protecting you. For... I know, Riley interrupted. Cole told me about Mom. About the guilt. I don't forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I understand. Silence. Then, that's more than I deserve. Probably. Riley looked at her cousins. But these guys think you deserve justice. So do I. We're opening the safety deposit box tomorrow. Whatever evidence you hid, we're going public. Riley, be careful. Vance isn't the only one involved. I know. We'll be careful. But this ends now, Dad. One way or another. After she hung up, Ethan spoke. That was brave. That was closure, Riley corrected. Everything else comes after. Tomorrow, they'd open the box. Tomorrow, the truth would come out. Tonight, Riley was just grateful to be alive. The safety deposit box sat on a table in a secured conference room. Present, Riley, the 4 Morgan brothers, 2 FBI agents, and a federal prosecutor. Nathan had the key, obtained through the court order. He looked at Riley. You sure you want to be here? This could get ugly. I've earned ugly, Riley said. Open it. Inside, USB drives, documents, and a handwritten letter addressed to Riley. She opened it with shaking hands. Riley. If you're reading this, it means I'm either dead or you've found the courage I never had. I'm sorry. For leaving, for the lies, for making you grow up alone. Everything in this box proves what happened on that mission. Names, orders, cover-ups. Colonel Vance wasn't acting alone. He had support all the way up to the Pentagon. I couldn't expose it without putting you in danger, so I ran. And I kept running. It was cowardice dressed as protection. The Morgans will help you. They're good people. Trust them, even though I couldn't. I love you. I always did. That's the truth I should have said 14 years ago. Dad Riley's vision blurred. Ethan gently took the letter, set it aside. Let's see what he found. The FBI agent plugged in the first drive. Files opened, mission logs, communication records, financial transactions. A paper trail showing Vance and others had orchestrated the mission's failure to cover up illegal arms deals. My God, the prosecutor breathed. This goes up to Undersecretary Billings. And Senator Morrison, Nathan added, scrolling through documents, and General Chen. This isn't just a cover-up, this is systemic corruption. Jack didn't cause that mission to fail, Cole said. He discovered the failure was intentional. That's why they blamed him. The prosecutor was already on her phone. I need warrants, multiple jurisdictions, full investigation team. This is treason, Ethan finished, and conspiracy, and murder. Riley stood. I need air. Drew followed her to the balcony. Below, San Francisco carried on, oblivious to the bombshell being revealed 40 stories up. You okay? My father was right. He was protecting me. All those years I thought... She shook her head. It doesn't excuse leaving, but it explains it. Yeah. Drew leaned on the railing. For what it's worth, he made the wrong choice, but it was made from love. Is that supposed to make it better? No, just different. Inside, phones were ringing, agents mobilizing, the machinery of justice grinding into gear. What happens now? Riley asked. Now, investigations, arrests, trials could take years, but Vance and the others will face consequences. And my father? Exonerated, officially. He can stop running. Riley's phone rang. Unknown number. She knew who it was. Dad, they opened the box. Not a question. Yeah, FBI's here. Prosecutor. It's happening. Good. A pause. Riley, I want to see you, if you'll let me. I know I have no right. You don't, Riley agreed. But come anyway. I have questions, and you have 14 years of answers you owe me. I'll be there tomorrow. After hanging up, Riley looked at Drew. Am I making a mistake? Letting him back in? Maybe. Or maybe you're giving him the chance he should have had. Either way, it's your choice. That's what matters. That evening, all 5 of them sat in the penthouse living room. First time they'd really relaxed since Riley arrived. So, Christopher said, what now? Vance is arrested. Evidence is public. Your father's coming tomorrow. What's next for you? Riley had been thinking about this. I want to stay in San Francisco with you guys, if that's okay. 4 smiles answered. We were hoping you'd say that, Ethan admitted. We've actually been talking about it. How would you feel about joining the company? Doing what? I'm a tattoo artist, not a business executive. You're a Morgan, Nathan corrected. You're also smart, observant, and fearless. We'll teach you the rest. Plus, we could use some fresh perspective, Cole added. Someone who hasn't been swimming in corporate bullshit her whole life. Riley laughed. That's the worst job pitch I've ever heard. But accurate, Drew grinned. Can I think about it? Take all the time you need, Ethan said. But the offer stands. Family, business, home, all of it. Riley looked at the 4 of them, her cousins, her protectors, her unexpected family. Thought about her studio apartment in Oceanside, her tattoo station, her old life. It had been comfortable in its simplicity, but it had also been lonely. Okay, she said finally. I'll try. No promises beyond that. No promises needed, Cole said. Just show up. That's all we ask. As they settled into easy conversation, plans for Riley's role, discussion of the investigation, reminiscences about their father and Riley's mother, Riley felt something unfamiliar. Belonging. It was tentative, fragile, built on trauma and conspiracy and 14 years of absence. But it was real. And maybe, just maybe, it was the beginning of something that could actually last. Jack Hayes stood outside the Morgan building, looking like he'd aged 30 years instead of 14. Riley saw him from the window, gray hair, worn jacket, the careful posture of someone always ready to run. Want us there? Ethan asked quietly. No, this is between us. She took the elevator down, met him on the street corner instead of bringing him up. Neutral territory. Riley, his voice cracked. You look so much like your mother. So I've been told. Awkward silence. 14 years of it, really. Thank you for seeing me, Jack said finally. I wasn't sure you would. I wasn't sure either. Riley crossed her arms. But I have questions, and you're going to answer them. All of them. Honestly. Okay. They walked to a nearby park, sat on a bench overlooking the bay. For a long moment, neither spoke. Why? Riley asked finally. I get the mission, the danger, the cover-up, but you could have told me, could have explained instead of just disappearing. You were 8. How do you explain to an 8-year-old that people want to kill her father? That staying with me meant living in constant fear? So you made me live in different fear. Foster homes, uncertainty, thinking I wasn't wanted. Jack flinched. That was the worst part, knowing you'd think that. But I thought... He stopped, started again. After Catherine died, I was broken, barely functional. The mission disaster pushed me over the edge. When I realized Vance was covering up treason, killing witnesses, I couldn't risk him coming after you. The Morgans would have protected me. I didn't trust them. Stupid, I know. But I was paranoid, grieving, convinced everyone would let me down like I'd let Catherine down. Riley was quiet. Then, Mom's accident. The drunk driver. Was that really an accident? Jack's expression darkened. Yes. I had it investigated. It was just random tragedy. Sometimes there's no conspiracy. Sometimes bad things just happen. Like you leaving. That wasn't random. That was cowardice dressed as protection. At least he admitted it. Did you watch me? Cole said you did. From a distance. Made sure you were safe, that foster homes were decent. Sent anonymous money when I could. I never got any money. Jack's face fell. System must have intercepted it. God, Riley, I tried. Not hard enough. Riley stood. You watched me struggle and did nothing. That's not protection, Dad. That's abandonment with extra steps. I know. He looked up at her, eyes red. I know I failed you. I failed Catherine. I failed every promise I made. But I'm here now. If you'll let me try to make it right. You can't. There's no making this right. Riley's voice softened slightly. But maybe we can start over. Not father-daughter. That's gone. But something. Something, Jack repeated. I'll take it. They walked back toward the Morgan building. At the entrance, Riley paused. The Morgans want me to work for them. Join the family business. That's good. They're good people. You approve? My approval stopped mattering when I walked away. Jack managed a small smile. But, yeah, I think Catherine would be happy. Knowing you're with her family? Riley nodded. Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye. For now, maybe we'll talk again. Maybe not. But I need to move forward. And I can't do that dragging you behind me. Jack understood. Okay, but Riley, I'm proud of you. For surviving. For being strong. For being better than I ever was. Yeah, well, I had to be. She went inside without looking back. Upstairs, the brothers were waiting. How'd it go? Drew asked. He apologized. Explained. I told him goodbye. Permanently? Nathan asked. For now. Maybe forever. I don't know yet. Riley sat down heavily. But I do know I'm tired of letting the past control me, so I'm choosing the future instead. Which means, Ethan prompted, which means I'm in. The job, the family, all of it. Teach me how to be a Morgan. 4 grins answered her. First lesson, Cole said. Morgans don't quit. Second lesson, Nathan added. Trust the family. We've got your back. Third lesson, Drew chimed in. We work hard, but we also know how to celebrate. So tonight, we're going out. Properly welcome you to the team. Fourth lesson, Ethan finished. You're home now, Riley. This is where you belong. Riley looked around at the 4 of them. Her family. Her future. Yeah, she said. I think I am. 3 months later, Riley had an office. A real one, with her name on the door and everything. Morgan Strategic Initiatives was her department, basically using street smarts to identify business opportunities others missed, projects in underserved communities, investments in people instead of just profit margins. It was perfect. You've got that meeting with the tech startup, Drew reminded her, popping his head in. The one doing affordable housing solutions. I remember. Thanks. Drew lingered. You know, when we first brought you here, I wasn't sure this would work, but you've exceeded every expectation. Even Nathan's? Especially Nathan's, which is saying something. Riley smiled. Nathan had become her unlikely mentor, teaching her finance, strategy, how to read people in boardrooms. They'd formed an odd friendship built on brutal honesty and mutual respect. I'm heading to Oceanside this weekend, Riley said. Visit Marco, check on the tattoo shop. Want to come? To Oceanside? The beach town you couldn't wait to escape? It's not about escape anymore. It's about remembering where I came from. Drew understood. I'll drive. That Saturday, they made the trip. Riley showed Drew her old apartment, the tattoo parlor where she'd worked, Joe's diner equivalent where she'd grabbed coffee. This is where you survived, Drew said quietly. Yeah, but I'm done just surviving. Now I'm living. Marco was thrilled to see her. The shop was doing well. He'd hired 2 new artists, expanded the space. Look at you, he said, grinning. Corporate Riley. Never thought I'd see it. Neither did I. You happy? Riley considered. Getting there. It's weird, having family, having people who care. But good weird. Good. You deserve good. On the drive back, Drew asked the question everyone had been dancing around. What? About your father? Have you talked to him? A few times, supervised visits, brief. It's complicated. Most family is. Yeah, but mine's complicated squared. Navy SEAL dad with PTSD who abandoned me, cousins who inherited billions, mother I barely remember. And one badass woman who survived it all and came out stronger, Drew interrupted. Don't forget that part. Riley laughed. Fair point. Back in San Francisco, Riley found a letter waiting. From Jack. She almost didn't open it. But curiosity won. Riley, I'm not good at this. Apologies, emotions, fatherhood. I failed spectacularly at the last one. But I want you to know, seeing you thrive with the Morgans, seeing you happy, it's everything I wanted for you, everything I couldn't give you. I'm moving to Sacramento, got a job with a veterans organization, helping other soldiers transition to civilian life. It's not much, but it's something. If you ever want to visit, the door's open. No pressure, no expectations. I'll understand if I never hear from you again. Jack Riley set the letter aside. Maybe someday she'd visit, maybe not. For now, she was focused on the family she had, not the one she'd lost. That evening, all 5 of them gathered for dinner, a Morgan tradition they'd established. Cooking together, badly, arguing about everything, laughing at nothing. I have news, Ethan announced. The investigation wrapped up. Vance, Billings, Morrison, Chen, all convicted. 20 years minimum. Justice, Nathan said, raising his glass. They toasted. Riley felt the weight of 14 years lift slightly. Also, Cole added, we've been thinking. This penthouse is great, but it's not really home for 5 people. So we're looking at houses, big enough for all of us, separate wings for privacy, but together. A family compound? Riley asked. More like a really expensive sleepover, Drew joked. I'm in, Riley said immediately. On one condition. What? I get to design part of it, my way, not all corporate and sterile. Done, Ethan agreed. Add some of that street art aesthetic. As they planned and argued and dreamed, Riley realized something. This was home. Not the building, not the city, these people, this chaotic, imperfect, chosen family. She'd spent her whole life alone, convinced she was better off that way. Turned out she'd been wrong. The threat came on a Tuesday. Riley was reviewing contracts when her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She'd learned to answer those carefully. Hello? Miss Hayes. Or is it Miss Morgan now? The voice was unfamiliar, cold. Who is this? Someone who knows what your father took. Someone who wants it back. Riley's blood chilled. Vance is in prison. His co-conspirators, too. Vance was middle management, I'm upper, and I want that evidence destroyed. It's already public. FBI has it. Trials are over. You're too late. Am I? Because I'm looking at real-time footage of your cousins, Ethan at his gym, Nathan in his office, Cole at that coffee shop he loves, Drew teaching that weekend class. Easy targets, unless you cooperate. Riley's hand shook. She activated the silent alarm under her desk, a security measure Cole had insisted on. What do you want? The original files, the ones not digitized. I know Jack kept physical backups. Get them for me, or your cousins start dying, 1 per week until you comply. I don't know where they are. Find out. You have 72 hours. The line went dead. Within seconds, security flooded Riley's office. Then the brothers arrived, pulled from their locations, protected, accounted for. What happened? Ethan demanded. Riley explained, hands still shaking. Nathan immediately pulled up security footage, traced the call. Burner phone, but the threats are real. He has surveillance on all of us. Who is he? Cole asked. Vance is locked up. Who else has motive? Someone higher up the chain, Drew said grimly. Someone who wasn't in Jack's evidence. Riley grabbed her phone, called her father. Riley? What's wrong? The evidence you collected. You said there were physical backups. Where are they? Pause. Why? Because someone just threatened to kill my cousins unless I hand them over. Where are they, Dad? I don't... Jack stopped. Wait. There were files. Things I couldn't digitize safely. I left them with someone I trusted. Who? Catherine's best friend, Monica Chen. She lives in Sacramento. I gave her a storage key 15 years ago. Does she know what's in it? No, just that it was important. Riley, be careful. If someone's coming after this now, I know. Call Monica. Tell her I'm coming. And Dad, thank you. The next morning, all 5 of them drove to Sacramento. Heavily protected, armed security, taking no chances. Monica Chen was an elegant woman in her 60s. She greeted them warily. I never thought Jack would actually need this back, she said, handing over a key. Storage unit across town. Been paying the rent out of an account Jack set up. At the storage facility, they found a unit filled with boxes. Inside, documents, photos, recordings, evidence Jack had collected but kept offline for security. Nathan started sorting. This is Jesus. This goes even higher than we thought. Deputy Director of the CIA, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. These aren't just corrupt officials. This is a shadow network. And they want it destroyed, Riley said, which means it's incredibly dangerous. Or incredibly valuable, Ethan countered. This could take down an entire network of corruption. Or get us all killed, Cole pointed out. They loaded everything into vehicles, drove back to San Francisco with armed escort, locked it all in a secure vault. Now what? Drew asked. Now we make copies, Nathan said. Digital, physical, distributed. So many copies they can't destroy them all. Then we go public, simultaneously, give them no chance to stop it. And in the meantime? Riley asked. In the meantime, we don't leave the building, Cole said. Maximum security until this is over. That night, unable to sleep, Riley found Ethan in his office. Couldn't sleep either. Kept thinking about that voice on the phone, the coldness. These people won't stop. I know. Ethan looked exhausted. But we're not stopping either. My father spent his life trying to protect this family. So will I. Even if it gets you killed? Even then. Because that's what family does. We protect each other. Riley sat down. I never had this. Growing up, people who'd risk everything for me. You have it now, and we're not letting go. 2 days later, they went public. Press conference, multiple news outlets, FBI coordination. Everything simultaneously. The Shadow Network tried to stop it. Cyber attacks, legal threats, attempts to discredit the evidence. But there were too many copies, too many witnesses, too much truth. Within a week, arrests started. High-level officials, military brass, intelligence officers, a conspiracy that had operated for decades, finally exposed. Riley watched the news coverage from the penthouse. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but did. "You just signed your death warrant," the voice from before said. "Maybe. But I signed yours too. Enjoy prison." She hung up, blocked the number. It wasn't over. Threats would come, danger would linger, but they'd won. 6 months later, Riley stood in the new house, sprawling, beautiful, with separate wings but connected common areas. Her space was perfect. Art studio, natural light, room for the life she was building. "Happy?" Cole asked, carrying in boxes. "Getting there." They'd all moved in together, 5 adults choosing family over independence. It was chaotic and perfect. Jack visited sometimes, awkward dinners where they tried to rebuild something from nothing. It wasn't father-daughter. Maybe it never would be. But it was something. "The veterans organization I'm working with," Jack said during one visit. "We're helping soldiers with PTSD, homelessness, trauma. Things I wish I'd had." "That's good," Riley said, and meant it. "I'll never forgive myself for leaving you, but maybe I can make sure other kids don't lose their parents to war." Maybe. It was the best they could do. Riley's role at Morgan Holdings had expanded. She now ran an entire division focused on social impact investing, projects that helped communities like the one she'd grown up in. "You're a natural," Nathan told her during a board meeting. "Born for this. I'm a tattoo artist who got lucky. You're a Morgan who earned her place." The distinction mattered. One evening, all 5 of them sat on the massive back deck, watching the sunset. "Remember when you first showed up?" Drew said to Riley. "Suspicious, defensive, ready to bolt at any second?" "I remember thinking you were all insane for bringing me here." "And now?" Ethan asked. Riley looked at each of them, her cousins, her brothers, her family. "Now I'm thinking maybe insanity runs in the family, because I can't imagine being anywhere else." "Good," Cole said, "because you're stuck with us." "Could be worse," Riley admitted. As night fell and conversation continued, plans and jokes and the easy comfort of people who'd chosen each other, Riley thought about her journey, from abandoned child to foster care to struggling artist to this, family, home, belonging. It hadn't been smooth, it hadn't been perfect, but it was real. And that was everything. Her phone buzzed. Text from Jack. "Proud of you, Riley. Your mother would be, too." She typed back, "Thanks, Dad. Not Father. Not yet, maybe never completely. But Dad. A start." Riley set down her phone and rejoined the conversation. Her family needed her opinion on whether to invest in a new tech startup or focus on affordable housing projects. She had thoughts, strong ones, because she was a Morgan now. And Morgans didn't quit. They showed up. They fought. They protected each other. They built something that lasted. Riley Hayes, street kid, survivor, artist, executive, had finally found where she belonged, not because someone saved her, but because she saved herself. And along the way, she'd found 4 people crazy enough to build a family with her. That was the real victory. Not the money, not the justice, not even the reconciliation, but the choice to stop surviving and start living, the choice to trust, the choice to stay. Home.